his ravenous hatred, he found no peace, and with boiling blood, he scoured the unknown plains, seeking vengeance against the Dark Lords who had wronged him. He wore the crown of the Night Sentinels, and those that tasted the bite of his sword named him the DOOMSLAYER.
Alright, ya feral collection of meat goblins, strap yourselves in, duct tape your ears to your eyeballs, pour whiskey into your nose, and prepare for a complete reality liquefaction. 'Cause we're asking the question that'll get you kicked out of every library, church, and Warhammer forum on the planet. Could the absolute demon-murdering, testosterone-infused, glory-killing, rage boner of a man, the motherfucking Doomslayer, kill every single Chaos God in Warhammer 40k? And I know what you're thinking. You slack-jawed, heretical bagpipe. That's fucking impossible. Good. Correct. If you're not already foaming at the mouth from this concept, you're not ready. This video isn't a theory video. This is a spiritual attack. This is a dimensional felony. This is what happens when caffeine, theology, and a first-person shooter rage are rammed into a blender and poured down the throat of a dying custodes while blasting Mick Gordon through a demonic bagpipe. If you're still standing there, sober, calm, maybe even slightly interested, no! Stop! You're not spiritually prepared for what's about to happen. So go take 5 fucking shots of something blue and flammable, slam your face into the warp, punch your own mirror, and then, and only then, you may proceed. Because this isn't just a crossover. This is heresy against reality itself. This is the Doomslayer, the man who rips hell apart for cardio, charging headfirst into a pantheon of galactic war crimes, gods who eat souls like popcorn and ejaculate timelines. This video isn't safe. This video is a hostile warp incursion disguised as content. And now, onto the question that broke my brain, like a demonette on a Space Marine Tinder date. So, like, subscribe, ring that motherfucking bell, and let's dive in. Right. You think you understand the gods? Nay, mate. Nay. You think your little Greek myths and your Bible studies are ready for the cosmic eldritch rave of unfiltered nonsense. You're about to get hit in the tits with lore so raw, it will shave your soul. Welcome to the fucking warp. Imagine if all human emotions, love, rage, fear, lust, boredom, arousal, anxiety, the urge to buy a Greg's sausage roll at 3 AM was shot through a meat grinder and pissed into an alternate dimension. That's the warp. Now, that warp, it got so spicy it started to fester. Emotions marinated in torment. And bam! Gods exploded out of it like demonic herpes. Let me introduce you to the main 4 that literally ruin everything. Khorne, the Blood God. Oh, you like violence? You like punching? Khorne is violence. He's the physical embodiment of what happens when testosterone, cocaine, and Slayer riffs get jammed into a meat blender and left in the sunless corner of Glasgow for 40,000 years. His hobbies include screaming his own name, collecting skulls like Pokemon cards, hating magic like it slept with his missus. Every time you get angry, Khorne gets an erection. Every time someone punches their telly in frustration, Another skull goes to his throne every time you stub your toe and shout, "Fuck!" He sends a World Eater a birthday card. He is Rage Incarnate. He is Fury Unchained. He's also allergic to Cam. Nurgle, Grandpappy Puss Fucker. Don't let the jolly smile fool ya. Nurgle is what happens when a compost bin gains sentience and decides love is best expressed through plagues. He's rot. He's filth. He's that one mate who refuses to shower because it's natural. He gifts disease like they're fucking party favors and tells you it's for your own good. You ever get a cold that lasts for 6 weeks? That's Nurgle. You ever sit on the wet train seat and feel your arse disintegrate? That's Nurgle. And yet, he loves you. He calls his demon children. He hugs with tentacles. He wants you to appreciate decay. It's all a bit wholesome. If wholesome meant farting yourself into a coma, surrounded by maggots. Zinch, the bird bastard. Imagine a wizard had a seizure while juggling a Rubik's Cube and conspiracy theories. That's Zinch. He's magic, change, manipulation, and your mate who says it's all part of the plan right before everything explodes. He looks like a nightmare peacock with too many hands and too much LSD. He's the reason your plans go to shit. He's why your exam answer you memorized is now blank. He is the warped version of trolling. He doesn't just play 4D chess, he plays 14D cocaine-fueled mahjong chess with time itself. And he's cheating the whole fucking way. Slanesh, the hoary black hole. Born from an Eldar orgy that was so intense it killed an entire civilization mid-thrust and ripped a hole in reality. Slanesh is pure indulgence, lust, greed, obsession, vanity, addiction, excess so extreme it makes your skeleton scream. This is the domain of the Prince of Pleasure. Their gender, yes. Their hobbies, everything. They whisper in your ear, lick your brain, and convince you that wearing a demon as a coat is fashionable. They're the reason your Amazon cart is full at 3 AM. They're the voice that says, "Eat the whole bloody cake." They are the beat drop at the interdimensional rave that causes the floor to melt. These fuckers are immortal, reality warping nightmares. They fuck with planets, twist minds, and turn space marines into frothing wolfmen with 11 dicks, and corrupting entire galaxies like it's Casual Tuesday. They're gods, they're ancient, and they're the final bosses of reality. And the Doomslayer? He looks at all this eldritch chaos and grabs his motherfucking shotgun. You ever heard the tale of a man so angry he punched hell so hard it gave up? That's the Doomslayer. Not Guy, not Marine. The Doom fucking Slayer. He's Wrath Incarnate. He was once a normal bloke, until demons killed his pet rabbit and he decided to rip and tear every single molecule of hell into spaghetti. He's killed literal titans, killed heaven, killed hell, killed God, killed robot God, killed God's Alexa, became God's backup clone because God was actually Satan, and Satan was his boss and also him. Basically, imagine if John Wick snorted a line of Martian coke, put on power armor, and started speedrunning Armageddon. And you've heard about some of his feats. Aye, but the Doomslayer is nothing without his absolutely broken arsenal. We're talking weapons so ridiculous they make Custodes war gear look like a scout squad's lunchbox. First off, the big fucking gun. Cannon name, the BFG 9000. This thing doesn't shoot projectiles, it vaporizes reality. Anything that exists in a room with the BFG, when it fires, is now a cautionary tale for future dimensions. Then there's the Crucible, a glowing red death sword that outputs 53 quadrillion joules of energy. That's more than the fucking Death Star super laser per swing. One slash and a Titan is turned into jam. It doesn't just cut, it unmakes. And let's not forget the rest of his Mary Poppins from Mars Arsenal. The super shotgun with a grappling meat hook, so he can drag himself towards you like a blood-crazed Spider-Man. The Unmaker, built by literal angels to erase demons from the timeline. The Doom Blade, an arm knife because he wasn't stabbing fast enough. A shoulder-mounted equipped launcher that blasts fire at ice and grenades like it's a fucking party cannon from hell. The Ballista, a weapon made specifically to snipe demons across dimensions. And, oh yeah, he pilots a giant fucking mech and trains a fucking cyber dragon. This isn't just a man, this is a living screaming inventory full of hate. And sure, I could go on about the rest of his arsenal, like the Humble Pistol, which does just about as much damage as a Nerf dart dipped in bad intentions. Unless you're that absolutely unhinged mad lad who beat the entirety of Doom 2016 with it. In which case, hats off to you, you caffeinated demon-slaying psychopath. Seek help, but also don't. Anyway, now we've introduced the Slayer, his punching god resume, and enough firepower to make the Iron Hands flinch. Let's move on to what I consider the best part of this entire video, the insane Doom lore. Right, what you're about to hear sounds like a sentient shotgun tripping balls on warp dust and liquefied LSD. If I say something objectionable, blasphemous, or downright stupid, it's probably true. That's the Doom lore, baby! Strap in, cause reality is about to file for divorce. Now, you might be wondering, how the absolute bastardry does one bunny-owning, grease-stricken marine go from depressed bloke in armor to god-mangling, warp-wrecking, cosmic feared weapon of religious fury? It all starts before time, or after time, or parallel to time while it was drunk and trying to cheat on space. 1 billion years ago, or possibly 15 minutes after lunch, there existed a being known as the Father. Not your dad, not even God, no, this was reality's grandpa. A being of lemicious guilt, deep space humming, and enough divine authority to invent ethics out of protons. He created the Makers, a race of cosmic moth angels who look like they've been designed by Apple and processed by smugness. These divine disco entities operate out of Urdak, heaven, basically. But if every building was an abstract structure of judgment and passive aggression, the Makers could plug into reality like USBs into sin. They floated, they judged, they hovered maliciously. They also ran out of fucking power. No oil, no gas, and apparently solar power was considered heresy. So they struck a deal with fucking hell. Yes, the literal dimension of eternal torment. They began juicing Argent energy from tortured souls like it was kale and ketamine in a wholly nutritious bullet. Entire planets were sacrificed, ground down, and turned into an interdimensional Red Bull. So what did the makers do with all of this soul juice? They turned into a theoretical utilitarian company. That's when the real mistake happened. Because one of the humans plugged into their death battery blender snapped. Enter the DOOMSLAYER. Not a hero, not a chosen one, just a guy, a marine, a soldier, a man who lost everything, especially his pet bunny Daisy, and something inside him broke. What came out wasn't a man, it was a cosmic rejection of evil. A creature powered not by hope or destiny or fate, but hate. Hate so pure it could be weaponized. Hate so dense it had its own gravitational pull. Hate that burned in 17 dimensions. The demons couldn't kill him. They tried. They tried fire, teeth, claws, whispers, warp logic, psychic invasions, and straight up hurling stars at him. But he kept coming. They named him many things. The Doomslayer, the Hellwalker, the Scourge of the Damned, the bastard who kept punching, the reason the warp has anxiety. And now, the Slayer's to-do list. Killed the Can Maker, turning the Celestial Queen of Heaven into angel paste. Personally kicking his way through Hell's upper management like a divine HR complaint. Beating a demon so hard it forgot his own name. Using a Titan's spinal column to craft a guitar that plays pain as a genre. Disassembling Hell's power grid with nothing but shotgun shells and terminal disappointment. Told Samuel Hagen, actually a maker, in a tin can to go fuck himself using only violence, sarcasm, and high-speed shrapnel. And came Davos, the original god, the architect of creation, the primordial being. But plot twist, he was also the Dark Lord of Hell, the devil, god, alpha, omega, the final boss, lore bomb. A being so ancient, reality still owes him rent. The father locked him away, the makers lied about it, and the Slayer found him, fought him, and fucking ended him. With a sword of rage and liquefied resolve. Doomslayer killed the god of evil. Davos' final words were roughly translated to, "Wait, hold on, this wasn't, oh fuck me." But now the Slayer has become too powerful, too raw, too active, and the makers and what was ever left of the universe agreed. Lock him in a box. Not to kill him. Oh no, you can't kill the Slayer. They just put him away like a warhammer of mass extinction wrapped in warnings and duct tape. And that's where he sat, in a timeless sarcophagus. Not dead, not dreaming, just waiting. Waiting for the next betrayal, the next sin, the next reason. And now, Chaos has given him a fucking reason. The warp doesn't understand. It can't. The gods of chaos have existed for eons, birthed from emotions, bathing in nightmares and decadence. They feed on pain, passion, and purpose. But the Slayer doesn't feel these things. He doesn't pray, he doesn't scheme, he doesn't fear, he just ends. They call Khorne the god of rage. The Slayer taught rage how to drive. They call Nurgle the god of decadence. Slayer killed Entropy once, just to see if it would stay dead. They call Zinch the god of change. Slayer broke his plans so hard he had to relearn what cause and effect meant. They call Slaanesh the god of pleasure. A Slayer's orgasm is called planetary extinction. So now he marches towards the warp, towards the gods, towards the last fight. And when he is done, there will be no throne, no empire, no crown, just silence and the faint echo of shotgun shells dropping on bone. Aye, you still with me? Good, because if that last bit about the Doomslayer's lore felt like getting headbutted by a flaming lord demon with a PhD in nonsense, you're not alone. I loved every warped second of it. But let's switch gears. Just a wee bit. It's time to put those tinfoil hats on properly. So you might be wondering, oi, Killer Studios, why the fuck are you making this video? Haven't we already decided the gods of chaos are unbeatable drug lords of metaphysical fuckery? Well, guess what, you magnificent bastards? I've seen Doom the Dark Ages, and my third eye popped open, and vomited ardent energy, and started screaming in binary. This game didn't just confirm a few suspicions of mine, it grabbed my lore theory, kissed it on the mouth, and slapped the BFG to its forehead. So before we jump back into the delicious chaos-ridden story section, let me drop some Eldritch knowledge and tell you why the Doomslayer, yes, the man, the myth, the murder engine, is going to absolutely fold the Chaos Gods like a Primarch at a therapy session. If you want to skip this ramble and go straight to the part where the Doom guy eats Slanesh like a snack bar, skip to this timestamp, because let's be honest, the best part of a Killer Studio video is the story. But if you still got a brain cell left, stay and let me cook. So, the main argument against the Doomslayer is this. The gods of chaos are omnipotent warp entities who can spawn infinite demons and bend reality like it's made of melted cheese. The Doomslayer? He's just a guy with a shotgun. Ah, but here's the thing, sunshine. That just a guy is a bit misleading. He's not just a man anymore. He's a living trauma event. A one-man extinction protocol. And he doesn't just kill demons. He feeds on them. You see, the Chaos Gods don't just magic up demons out of nowhere. They shave off shreds of their own souls to birth them. Every bloodthirster, every plague toad, every pink tentacle bastard spawn. They're not just minions. They're investments. Think of them as Horcruxes, but worse. Now, here's where it gets a little silly. The Doomslayer absorbs demon energy. Every time he kills a demon, he gets stronger, and if we accept that the warp demons in 40k are functionally the same as the demons in Doom, which for the sake of this chaos splattered theory, we are, then every kill is a direct soul hit on the gods of chaos. He's not just killing their armies, he's eating them. Think about that. Every imp he rips in half, a tiny snack. Every great unclean one he turns into chunks of slammy. That's a full course power up. And the gods can't respawn those demons without peeling off more of their divine arse cheeks to grow new ones. Over time, the Doomslayer not just trimming their forces, he's shaving chunks of their divinity. Now, let's talk personality. The gods of chaos ain't just powerful, they're idiots. Zinch is too busy playing 19D chess with himself, and he doesn't notice the Doomslayer carving up his pawns. Slanesh is more likely to get horny watching the carnage than actually do anything productive. Khorne is the first to throw hands, obviously. He's Rage Daddy Supreme, but that's exactly the problem. He sends everything he has, every demon, every spawn, every axe-wielding Hellboy in his arsenal, right into the meat grinder. Nurgle, ironically, he's the smartest one of the lot, but disease and entropy don't work on the Doomslayer. The man's immune to corruption, immune to decay, immune to bullshit. Even his armor says no thank you to the warp. With each kill, Doomslayer escalates. He's an infinite growing engine. Kill a demon, get stronger. Kill a Grayton demon, absorb a big soul chunk. Kill thousands, well, now he's basically a warp singularity in boots. And this continues until eventually he walks up to a weakened god of chaos and turns them into emotional debris. He will kill Khorne first because Khorne's too proud to run. And once Khorne is dead, the others are on the clock. Vince dies second, Nurgle third, and Slaanesh dies last. And worse. And by the end, the warp goes quiet. The Eye of Terror will blink, and the Doomslayer will sit on a throne made of demon skulls. The gods of chaos? Nothing but past tense. Alright, let's scrap the math for a second. Don't worry, ya community legends. Your beautiful numbers are going on screen right here while I talk. Keep your seatbelts on. Shout out to the lunatics who helped me crunch those numbers, starting with the Mancubus. Melting reinforced concrete with 820 degrees Celsius plasma. The 4.7 million joules needed to break the Doomslayer's armor. The fact it would take 13 bolter rounds to even scratch him. That's all going on screen here, because it's glorious! But what I really want to talk about now is the one and only way the Chaos Gods could win. I mean, like, you'd win the damn lottery while blackout drunk and blindfolded. See, if the Gods of Chaos realize early enough that the Doomslayer is an actual threat, a real one, not just a blood-swearing Marine cosplayer, then Khorne might be fast enough to act smart once in his existence. Might. Big fucking might. Because here's the thing, Khorne gains power from any bloodshed. Doesn't matter if it's from his own demons, someone else, or from some poor bastard getting demolished by Slaanesh. It all fuels his Rage Daddy battery. So, if Khorne, instead of doing his usual, send in the Bloodthirster's trauma, sits back and lets Slaanesh or Nurgle take the first swing, then maybe by the time the Doom guys finish turning Nurgle's guts into guacamole, Khorne will have charged up enough power to one-punch the bastard into a warp singularity. Maybe, but that's the one time out of 10, and the other 9? Khorne's fucking dead, because you've got to remember what the Doomslayer actually is. This isn't a dude with a grudge, this is a divine middle finger. This is a man who killed Dathoth, the literal god creator of the Doomverse, slaughtered ancient ones, giant Cthulhu bastard gods of old, survived death itself. He died, came back as a zombie, punched his way through the veil of the afterlife, and respawned because he was too angry to stop existing. He is the only entity in gaming history who looked at the concept of death and said, "Not today, dickhead." And you want to talk mind control, corruption, the warp? Slayer's been eating that for breakfast since Doom 2016. Every time someone's tried to fuck with his mind, he just tanked it, resisted it, and came back stronger. The warp can't even make him blink. And even if they manage to twist him for a bit, guess what? Now he's just got corruption resistance as a passive buff. You don't mind control the Doomslayer, you level him up. But here's the real clincher, the most batshit, deranged, pants on head insane stat about the Doomslayer. Time! The guy's been trapped in hell for over 1 billion years. Not 1,000, not 1,000,000. 1 billion years. And the Doom community, those mad, glorious spreadsheet-wielding monsters, calculated how many demons he killed in that time. The number? 96.7 quadrillion demons. And that's being conservative. That's how many demons he tore apart, shotgunned, glory killed, powerbombed, dismembered, turned into ammo, and used as a blunt instrument to kill other demons. So yeah, Khorne might win. Once. If he plays the smartest 5D chess game in his existence, and if the other gods of chaos cooperated, and if the Doomslayer doesn't get stronger mid-fight like he always does. But we all know what's actually going to happen. The gods bleed, the warp collapses, and the Doomslayer walks away with a Chaos God Skull belt and a fresh BFG. The gods of chaos can't win. They underestimate him, they overextend, they feed him everything he needs to become a multiversal juggernaut. And when they realize what they've done, it's too late. So yeah, that's why I made this video. Doom the Dark Ages just confirmed my worst and my most violent suspicions. The Doomslayer doesn't just survive in 40k, he ends it. Right, now that you've all endured that lecture, strap in, pour a whiskey, and get ready, because it's time for the part you've all been waiting for. The story, the main event, the glorious chaos-fueled fever dream that is a Killer Studios video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another mad rant. Right, listen here, you snot-sipping, skull-snorting, warp-fondling, magnificent bastards. Picture it, the Eye of Terror. A cosmic soup of bad dreams, space crack, and shrieking. Orphan star gods with unresolved trauma. It's Tuesday. Zinch is crocheting a paradox. Khorne is bench pressing Angron. Nurgle is bubbling in a bath of sentient pus. Slaanesh is DJing an orgy with someone's nervous system as a turntable. Then it happens. A rumble. A vibration across the warp. Not a gentle fart of destiny. No, a rage quake. The very concept of physics packs up and leaves. The sky folds in on itself like a badly written fanfic. And from the jagged tear in space-time steps out the DOOMSLAYER. No ceremony, no dramatic music, just a meaty crunch as he pile drives into reality like gods on a sledgehammer. The ground breaks, the warp shivers, someone's grandma explodes into bees. Shit's real now. Khorne is the first to react. Big bastard, redder than a boiled lobster on coke. He roars, blood for the too fucking late. The Doomslayer punches him in the chest so hard his blood writes a novel. His skull explodes mid-chant. The skull throne collapses like IKEA furniture in a hurricane. Doomslayer wrings out Khorne's aorta like a protein shake and drinks it while doing squats in slow motion. Nurgle waddles in next, giggling like a diseased Santa. Ho ho ho, a new wee plague carrier. Let's give him several flavors of space herpes. Doomslayer just grabs him, no words, shoves a BFG round so deep into Nurgle's belly he gets pregnant with pain. Nurgle vomits plagues, The Doomslayer uses his guts as a skipping rope. The garden burns. No, it ferments. Whole ecosystems reduced to compost and apologies. Zint sees it coming, or thinks he does. Ah, my little pawn! I foresaw this eon's wait. That's not right. Hold on! The Doomslayer is already mid-air. He suplexes Zinch through a 4D chessboard. Reality glitches. The warp has to reinstall itself. Zinch tries to become a conceptual idea to escape the Slayer, but the Doomslayer becomes more conceptual and punches him into a JPEG. Zinch devolves into a puddle of blue piss and broken plans. Slaanesh is the last to arrive, shimmering in beauty, sin, and spicy regrets. Oh, you poor soul. Let me show you pleasures your mortal mind can't come. The Doomslayer squints, snarls, growls. I only nuts for vengeance. Then he spears her with her own tail, ties her in a knot made of shame and ruined safe words, and curb stomps her so hard that the palace of pleasure turns into an abandoned Greg's. Glitter vomits from the warp. Someone cries in dubstep, but then, the warp starts dying. No chaos gods means no anchor. The whole immaterium collapses inwards like a sofa of sin. Demons scream, plants bleed. Somewhere a coke spider monkey weeps in its own tears. And from the smoke and ruins of unreality, he emerges. The Doomslayer, riding a flaming warlord titan with Sanguinius's femur lashed to the hood as a sacred hood ornament. He rips open the Eye of Terror like a pissed off warlord who just didn't get exactly what he wanted that day. Guitar solo scream from the heavens, thunder fart angels. The Immaterium turns into liquid meth. The Imperium of Man tries to understand. They can't. They try to stop him. They fail. Their nukes become coffins. Their prayers are just loading screams. He walks through them like a goddamn meteor of divine war crimes. Samuel Hagen returns as a chrome toaster. Every time he talks, he plays Sonic philosophy and anime intros. Vega becomes a sentient fridge that dispenses rage and chicken nuggets. Chaos gone. Time dismembered. Hell evicted. The Doomslayer doesn't look back. He doesn't need to. Reality tries to reset. He punches it in the kidneys just to be sure. And then he walks into the horizon, into the stars, into the next fight. Because he doesn't stop. Because he doesn't end. Because rip and fucking tear. That's your lot. The Chaos Gods fucked. The warp torn like a heretic's cheekbone. Time sold on eBay for 8 souls and a graham cracker. Doomslayer, he's already halfway through punching the Necron gods in the dick with a crucible on fire. Now, before this outro explodes into a pure metal and screaming, I just want to say a massive thank you, glorious people who stuck around to the bitter lore drenched end of this absolute fever dream. And to everyone who has subscribed or helped me get to 500 subscribers. I really appreciate it. You are the reason the warp trembles at night. I know, I've said this before, but seriously, thank you. No, really, stop laughing. I'm being emotional, sincere, in the middle of a murder symphony. Also, a huge shout out to the brilliant bastards whose edits and footage helped me bring this nonsense to life. Yes, a lot of this was me, my suffering, and my timeline full of flaming video files, but I can't have done it without those legends. They're linked in the description, so go show them some love. Or at least don't steal their fridge magnets. Right, now do me a huge solid. Like, subscribe, ring the motherfucking bell, and remember, ya brilliant mad bastards, 2 lines of codex, punch a planet, and rip and fucking tear until it is done. Now have a killing day, ya bloody legends, and I'll see ya in the next one.